Airial, if I could marry her brain, it would be amazing.
If you need anything technical.
She is down to earth. She's fun. She's very easy to network with.
Anything systems oriented.
Just anything web dev techie that I don't understand, Airial has swooped in and fixed. And she's my accountability bulldog.
She is a queen.
Anything infrastructure related.
She is helpful, and she helps guide and answer all your questions that you have about growing your business and networking and getting started.
She gives me life. She just gives me life.
Airial Reynal is your girl. Welcome to the TrepTECH podcast with your host, Airial Reynal.
I just want to marry her brain. She's a genius.
What is up? We are, we're halfway through.
Hey!
I was waiting for that. I'm waiting for it.
I know, you were taking too long, so I was like, let me insert my voice into the intro.
Yeah. We're halfway through May already, Airial. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. So is TrepTECH going to be seasonal, or we're going to always do it?
Always. 52 chances to hear us every single year. Isn't that amazing?
So no breaks, not even like Christmas?
Oh, you can take Christmas off if you want to. It's just the podcast will still roll because we'd have recorded it in like June.
True.
We batch record. Let's be serious. Let's not even.
That's fine because I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun, and it's giving me content to expand on as well.
Yeah. And I'm loving that because you have brought, since you're a big advocate for mental health, May is Mental Health Month. If you have missed the first 2 episodes of May, we talked about anxiety in the last one, what it is, how to cope, don't use weed. And we talked about, what did we talk about on the one?
Pressure. And that was your topic.
Yeah, we talked about pressure and not to succumb to it, not to fall victim to over pressuring yourself. So if those feel like they could be you might want to go check those out. What are we talking about today, Airial?
And even if they're not, you still check them out because you may be in the presence of somebody who that applies to. So you can get just an insight of their lives as well.
Yeah, true.
Let's talk about depression since we're talking about mental illness.
Ooh, yeah. Deep.
And how self-care plays a huge part.
Okay.
When you're an entrepreneur.
I can get behind that. So clearly depression is something that you have an angle on. So I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like I'm going to be able to start this thing off better than you. So you might as well just take it.
No, the strange thing is how you have depression and anxiety. And I love the memes that Facebook puts out, or the memes people put out on Facebook about anxiety and depression, because I can't articulate how it is, but I'll see those memes. So I'll post some for the show notes or whatnot. And it's like, that's exactly what it is. It's like, I want to go out. I need to go out. But, oh my gosh, what would people think? Oh, no, I'm too tired. I don't feel like showering. Just all kinds of stuff.
I feel like people kind of blow depression up in their heads to be like a worst case scenario thing. Because like, I know a lot of people when they think about depression, especially where veterans are concerned, they think there's like someone literally sitting, staring down a pill bottle or a noose or a loaded gun, and they're sitting there and they're like literally at their last. But that's not where depression starts. That's like the end game of depression. That's when depression has finally done its thing.
And I've felt all of that. I've been where last August, I wanted to just quit. I was completely done. Completely. And I just had to remember what I had to live for. But at that point, just to be real, at that point, I felt like I didn't have anything to live for because I was like, I'm single. Nobody wants me. I don't have any children. Oh my gosh, so many things. So it does get that bad. And it's about managing. And again, self-awareness, self-care is huge because I know that it affects my energy levels. I also know that certain times of the month it's worse. My anxiety goes up or my depression goes up, and just knowing how to balance that. And then not beating myself up when I need that time.
Yeah. Depression for me looks really different than I think it looks for other people. And maybe you can kind of let me know if I'm on the right track here or not.
Go for it.
Because I know myself, like I go into long depressive spells, like for a couple of months at a time. And then I'll be out and I'll be fine and I'll be good again. And then all of a sudden I'll feel myself sinking again, you know, and it'll be for a little while again until I pull myself out. And that's what it takes. It takes me pulling myself out every single time. But, you know, it's like seasonal almost, like it comes and goes. Like,
Oh, yes. Mine is worse during the winter.
yeah. And I mean, like, so for me, what depression will look like is I'll realize that I'll start declining invitations places more often. And I'll stop engaging in as many conversations, and I won't post as much on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll stop going out altogether. And then next thing you know, like I'll stop, unless I have to go to the grocery store or shovel snow, like I won't even leave my house. And then I won't even leave my office. And then I won't change my clothes or go shower. So I'll be wearing the same jeans for 7 days and the same shirt for the last 3 days. And, you know, smelling my socks to see if they stink because I haven't washed them, you know, and I end up folding into this like metaphorical little ball and not leaving. And then like, I won't go get a haircut. I won't go like, so I don't look good. I don't feel good. I don't smell good. I don't, you know, like there's just nothing good about the situation after like, you know, 3 weeks of this. And it just gets worse and worse and worse until I look at myself in the mirror and go, the fuck are you doing, man? Clean yourself up.
Same here. I go through that quite often. I'll camp out on my couch with my red blanket and I will not move. I won't go anywhere. I won't talk to anyone. It's like I shut down. I won't shower for days. And then finally I'll get in the shower and I'm like, oh my God, this feels amazing. But what motivates me to get in the shower is because I'm like, oh my gosh, even Simba is over here smelling like, what in the world is going on?
Yeah. And so like, I mean, depression isn't suicide. Depression can literally just, it can look a lot more innocent than that. You know, it can look a lot less severe.
Right.
But it's still depression.
Yes. And I could talk about that for days and days and days. But it is an ugly thing, and it can get as severe as suicide. You can get so deep down into that hole in that dark place that you're ready to give up, or you're ready to relieve that pain of the loneliness or the depression. But yet again, I don't want to get too deep. I want to be real, but I don't want to get too deep. Yeah. If you want to get deep into the stories of how I've coped and how I live with it and how other people have coped and lived with it, check out the Veteran Woman podcast. Also check me out on Facebook on my profile and the Rebel Revolution. I share behind the scenes of like when I'm having an anxiety attack or when I'm depressed and don't want to move from under my red blanket fort and, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it is tough for some entrepreneurs. We can sit there and not brush our teeth for a few days. And it sounds disgusting, but it's real. So I'm just going to say it because there's somebody listening to this that's like, yep, that's me. I never wanted to admit it, but yep, that's me. You don't shower, you don't comb your hair, you don't shave, you don't brush your teeth.
All I'm going to say is thank God our businesses are digital.
And that's why mine is.
Same. That's exactly the reason I built an online business, is because I know that I'm not reliable enough to go out and do a brick and mortar every single day. You know, I can still show up on a call no matter what. It's just if I'm depressed, you'll notice I do audio only. If I'm feeling myself, I will do video, you know. But one of the things that I've done is I've made sure to always do video for my team meetings, no matter how I'm feeling, you know, no matter.
Oh, well, all of us are just like, whatever. You know, I come up, I will roll over and turn on the Facebook Messenger video and be like, yeah, I'm feeling like shit today, or no, I'm just feeling lazy. I just don't feel like putting on clothes. So let me make sure I don't angle the camera the wrong way.
Yeah. And so like, I think to avoid going too deep, I think it's just a good idea to like, maybe we should talk about just different ways to, you know, when you notice yourself slipping, what are some things you do to make sure you don't slip too far?
Ooh, I mean, you know, therapists always say like, go for a walk. Go be around a friend and that kind of stuff. And that used to trigger me. I'm like, well, I don't fucking want to do that. I don't feel like doing that because either my anxiety or depression. It was like this vicious cycle. And I'm like, well, that's my problem, because if I could do all that, then I wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah.
But one thing I did learn is that I had a vitamin D deficiency. And vitamin D, when you have a deficiency, it brings down your energy levels. So one thing that has helped me is really, truly taking vitamin D, watching my vitamin levels. I have light therapy now because it is, while we're recording this, it is still the winter months. And just doing things that I love are just saying fuck it to it. And let me explain that, because my whole thing is control. So sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. And so, it goes from depression to anxiety, back to depression and all that. And then it's like, you know what, Airial, just breathe, just be, give yourself a break. And whenever I need to give myself a break, I give myself a break. And if somebody tries to push me out of that break too quick, because now it doesn't get as deep down. If it gets deep where I'm a threat to myself, then I go next door to my friend, my best friend. And she knows that sometimes I may not want to talk, but if in the middle of the night I end up on a floor or couch, she knows I just need to be around somebody that has gotten bad. But otherwise, I'm here and I'm just like, nope, I'm just taking the whole weekend. I'm turning my phone off. I'm not answering Facebook messages. I'm taking the whole weekend. And then I refresh myself.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like the last episode, or I can't remember which episode, but I mentioned how certain times of the month I notice ups and downs. And I think that's with the hormone levels and everything that us women go through. So I am aware of that. Again, self-awareness and self-care. So sometimes I'll just say, Airial, go take a bath. Because I literally get to the point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't feel like standing in the shower and doing all this. This is doing too much. So sometimes I'll just run a bath with the green palmolive, but I'll run the bath and I'll put on some music and drink some wine, light some candles. So I make myself feel good and it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to go spend money. Or I'll go outside, or I'll go eat with a friend, or I'll just drive to the gas station that's like 2 steps from my place, but I'm like, I'm getting out. I may look a hot mess, I may be in my pajamas, but I'm outside, so nobody better not say shit to me. So just being proud of yourself and acknowledging the little things that you do and you accomplish. And don't beat yourself up because, depression is real. That shit sucks.
See, for me, it's a little different in that, like, now that I have Scotland, she's such a happy baby that I can just, like, if I'm starting to feel a certain kind of way, I could just grab her and go have fun.
Right.
And I snap out of it immediately, even if it's just for that little bit. And then nothing seems as bad as it was previously, right? So it kind of like almost takes the edge off, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I've noticed for me is, like, before Scotland, I had to have actual coping mechanisms in place, and I still do. And one of those was very simple. Go to my barber, get a haircut, a beard trim, and a straight razor shave with hot towels. By the time that beautiful Frenchman is done pampering me, I feel like a god. I walk out of there and I'm getting looks in public from middle-aged rich women. I'm getting I'm feeling good. There's other guys wishing they had my hair. I get home and Tor looks at me a certain kind of way, like,
I get on the phone with you and you tell me how awesome I am. So I'm like, oh, yes, I am a badass. I'm awesome. Okay. Let me continue on.
Right. So I'll go get my hair cut, and it changes everything. It changes the way I look. So it changes the way I feel about myself. Or like you, I'll take a bath, or I'll just take a time out and read something like a fiction book or something to escape from my life for a minute, or one of the biggest things that I have found, and I don't use it often because, like, battle buddy, you told me about having a battle buddy. Everyone in the military, is encouraged to pick someone where when they're feeling that.
Let me say, for those who are new, it's now called Warrior Companion. Unless they've changed it in the last 4 or 5 years. But we can still stick to Battle Buddy.
Warrior Companion just takes too long. But, and I'll flat out say it. Airial's my battle buddy. And back in February of this year, my life went to complete shit. I'm not going to talk about it, like, in depth. But I called Airial, and Airial has offered up if you need to talk, we'll talk, for years previous to that, like 2 years I heard, if you need to talk, we can talk. And then finally I took advantage of it, because if I'm going to use my battle buddy, like if Airial gets a call from me and it's a personal call, you know, my life is in shit. Like it's falling apart at that point. And I called her and we didn't really talk much. I vented. I ate blueberry cobbler on the phone with her. She talked to my mom for a bit. We all chatted
I
and
got a
had
new
fun.
home in Canada.
Yeah, we just chatted and had fun, and we talked about, you know, inappropriate things and hilarious things and just all kinds of things that were not business, were not life, were not, you know, we took our minds off of things for a while, and it was kind of nice.
I still can't believe I said some of the stuff that I said.
Oh, I know. And the funny part was, like, she's there, she's like, you know, saying things to my mom saying things back. They're having a good laugh at my expense, and I'm having a good laugh at my mom's expense, and Airial, you know. And like, I called and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, you know, yeah, yes and no. And she's like, "I got to talk to you about some things." And she just went into her problems that were like not problems. They were like first world problems. They weren't huge or problematic at all. They were actually quite hilarious. But it actually took me out of my place. It took me out of feeling bad and feeling sorry and feeling like things were hopeless. And when I hung up the phone, I was like, "No shit, I'm okay. I laughed for like an hour and a half straight. I'm actually really happy right now." And so, like, having that other person that you can call and they can lift you up out of the issue. I know a lot of people hesitate to reach out for help and call for help because they don't want to be annoying or bothered. But if it's real and you don't abuse it, people will always be there for you. And so I think having that warrior companion, it's a great thing to have. And I wouldn't have had it if I didn't come in contact with Airial.
Aww.
There you go again.
Okay, I'm not going to get mushy. Another thing I do, because, you know, taking your mind out the problems, I'll watch some ratchet show, like Love and Hip Hop, or what is the thing, the Married to Prisoners thing, where they meet their boo while they're in prison and they get married and all this stuff. That, or Marriage Boot Camp or something. I'll watch stuff like that and I'll be like, you know what, my life just is not that bad. Or I watch Hoarders and I'm like, let me clean up this little mess, but at least it's not that bad. So
I love it. Yeah, so just like giving yourself some perspective, I guess, is a good idea too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that all works. And I mean, at the end of the day, the idea here is that you're fighting an uphill battle. So all the support and help you can have will help you up that hill. And, you know, like when it's first starting out, it might seem like you're pushing a really big rock, you know, up that hill. But as you push it farther and farther, you call your battle buddy. Well, then someone's helping you push that rock. And you're watching TV to get your mind off your issues and not putting yourself under so much pressure. Well, the rock gets lighter because you're not putting yourself under as much, you know, and just there's little things that you can do to make that fight less of a fight and more of a flow.
And true battle buddies are there for you. They will risk their lives for you to make sure you're okay. They will pull you out of that hole. Even if it's just them talking about themselves, just so you can laugh and be like, okay, I'm not as crazy as I thought I was. Hey, and that's why I tell Scott, I'm like, why did you even let it get that bad before you told me I'm here? You can call me anytime, day or night, even if we just need to breathe on the phone, because I know how that feeling is to need that or want that. And I'm here.
Well, yeah. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me and offer me that support, but there's some people I don't think they'd have the perspective, or I don't think they should hear it, or, you know, maybe we're in a certain business arrangement that I don't want to mix my personal life into. But with Airial and I, we're close, you know, and I know I could trust her with my shit and it's not going to end up all over the internet. So like, it's one of those things where like, you need to be selective. You need to make sure they're people you love and trust and legitimately care about you. But you definitely do have to open up to somebody, because it's easier to fight a battle with allies than it is to fight alone. So
yes, support system.
And
that's what you are to me, support system. And I remember a therapist asked me, she was like, who's in your support system? And I was like, Scott, even though he's in Canada and I've never met him in person, he's my support system because I know I can vent.
Yeah. And I mean, like, its support system is wonderful, but I think you made a really big thing by saying, like, take care of your hygiene. Just, you know, make a point to care about yourself and to pamper yourself and to make sure that you smell good, you look good, you feel good, you take a bath, you know. Palmolive's tough on grease, so it doesn't matter how long you've been absent from the bath, it'll clean you right up. You'll shine like a dish. is good, right? So like, I think that's one of the biggest things is like when you start actually putting the care in for yourself and just understand that there's never been a hole so deep that you haven't been able to dig yourself out yet.
Yes.
So have faith in yourself, trust yourself, and just make the steps. And they don't have to be huge steps. At the beginning, they can just be small things like you rolled over and put pants on today. Good for you.
Yes.
You know?
We laugh, but that is so serious. And when I do that, I'd be like, fuck everybody who has anything else to say to me. I put on pants today. So embrace that attitude. Acknowledge yourself for the little things you do, even if it's you got out of bed and went to your couch, or you went to go get the mail, or you opened the door or the window for the day. Acknowledge that and be proud of yourself for that, because I know how important that is, those acknowledgments. So don't let people rain on your parade. Believe in yourself. It's going to be okay. If you need to reach out to me, reach out to me.
I love it. I love it. You know, Airial has, man, when it comes to confidence, mindset, anxiety, PTSD, depression, that whole thing, I mean, Airial's running a profitable business. She's got brands and networks and all kinds of really cool things and resources up. Like, I don't even know how many resources you have access to that other people don't even know exist. So, I mean, if you are someone who's having a rough go, it might be worth your while to reach out to Airial and see how she can help you, because going through this thing on a military level and then going through it as well on a personal and business level, I mean, you've got all angles. Let's be honest here. You know what you're doing and what you're talking about. So if you are going through this stuff and you want some self-care techniques, or you need someone to talk to, or this is derailing your chances of success, I highly, highly recommend you click into the show notes, you take action, you do that one step in self-care and just reach out to Airial and say, hey, we need to talk. Are you available? And I can guarantee you that she'll open up her calendar if she knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. And even if I'm depressed, that gets me off my couch. I'm like, what do you need?
Purpose.
You need to talk? I'm here. Okay. Yeah, right.
Absolutely. Having that sense of purpose. And that's an episode in and of itself we can definitely get into. But in the meantime, you know, if you're going through some things, reach out to Airial. She'll hook you up. And I think that's pretty much all the time we've got this week, unless you've got anything else you want to add.
No, I don't. Thanks again for covering this topic. I know it's deep and a lot of people don't want to talk about it, especially not on business or entrepreneur podcasts, but it's stuff we really go through. So thanks for bringing up the subject, and thank you for having the whole mental health May theme going on, because it's important.
I love it, man. Entrepreneurs need help too. Everybody needs the help. So if you are struggling, feel free to reach out. If you're an entrepreneur and you've gotten over some things and you want to make yourself available to other entrepreneurs who are struggling, please reach out. It's all about building a beautiful support system, a huge network, and success and, you know, mental health for everybody this month. So much love, much respect, much success to you, and we will catch you next week.
Love ya.
Thank you for tuning in to the TrepTECH podcast. But if you like what you heard, go on to Apple Podcasts and bring her a 5-star review. And also, if you want to check out her service while she transforms mindsets, navigating entrepreneurship, leveraging technology, building relationships while bridging the gap in your business, check out TrepTECHacademy.com. That's TrepTECHacademy.com.